Welcome to our next game, Laserhawks versus Templis, down right here, right now. I'm joined by Elise Randolph to take this away. Elise, it looks like we've got a great game to cast here. I believe we're both familiar with these teams. One interesting thing I have noted from the looking at some of these ships is that the Laserhawks guys tend to go with we've got railguns on the Brutixes and we've got RT on the Canes, whereas we have Templis bringing this. So this is going to get very interesting to see who can get the most application on their opponent.
Yeah, Templates will be in blue, guys, and Laserhawks will be in red. Templates have a Vindicator, 2 Navy Harbingers, 2 Navy Brixes, 2 Blackbirds for that Jam ECM control, 2 Deacons since all Tech 2 armor logistics were banned out, and a Hyena for some little bit of tackle there. The Laserhawks, on the other hand, have the 2 Fleet Hurricanes, 2 Navy Harbingers, 2 Navy Brutixes, 6 Navy Battlecruiser hulls. Absolutely ridiculous. Supported by 2 Vengeances, a Daredevil, and the Tech 1 Logistics in the Exec here. So we've got a Tech 1 Logistics, 2 Tech 2 Frigate Logistics. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. What do you expect to see from this besides just a flurry of explosions?
Both teams, both team captains here have to be very, very careful about their positioning. You know, the Laserhawk guy is going to want to be pulling distance, managing to focus down their targets, get them webbed, and just get them off the field as soon as possible. But meanwhile, you know, Templis with a Vindicator and Navy Brutixes with the Blackbird ECM support, you know, they just want to get it in there, get nasty, and just ruin anything they can get their hands on. And this is really going to be a test of who can get the best positioning here. We do see the boosters are going on. We have the 5-second countdown now. It's go time, Elise.
Yep, so Laserhawks really have to get these Blackbirds down. As you mentioned, that has to be their primary. If these Blackbirds can get crucial jams off early in the match, Templates may be able to run over everyone, and we see that's exactly what Laserhawks are doing, shooting Dale in the Blackbird, and he's taking hunks of damage. Meanwhile, Templates are countering by shooting the Tech 1 Logistics, the Laserhawks Executor.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a big fan of that Execura. That is their main threat at the moment. You've got that for Laserhawks, and you've got the 2 Deacons, obviously, for Templis. But, you know, a lot is going to be resting on that Execura surviving, and it is being target painted. It's getting some remote reps right now. One of the Blackbirds does fall for Templis. The second one taking immense pressure right now. If they can knock both of these off the field, that puts Laserhawks in an amazing position.
Yeah, Laserhawks have a disgusting amount of damage and a very good amount of control. Now that these Blackbirds are off the field, Laserhawks have 2 very durable frigates in the Vengeances and a very, very sturdy web in that Daredevil. Templates really need to get this sorted here, as one of their Deacons is going down right now. Once this Deacon dies, the other Deacon is more or less useless.
It absolutely is. It needs that partner to stay alive and is going to suffer. We do see it getting webbed, Nosferatu, target painted, and scrammed at the minute. Not the position you want to be in as a Logi pilot, especially Frigate Logi. So he is going to be panicking right now. The Fleet Hurricane, though, by Anomalic, is down into low armor right now. He's slowly being chipped away on, but it looks like he's holding.
Yep, absolutely. This Tech 1 Logistics by the Executor on the Laserhawk side, he's holding just fine. Although he is webbed by a Hyena, and it looks like a lot of damage is being applied to him, he has a swarm of armor maintenance spots on him. Yeah, he's going to go down, but he survived 2 minutes. Enough for Laserhawks to win the Logistics trade and kill the 2 Blackbirds on the Template side.
Yeah, I mean, this Vindy, man, it doesn't seem like the Vindy's able to get anywhere that it needs to be. And it's just kind of being ignored right now. And just whilst everything else is dying, the Navy Harbinger now by Oracle taking some more damage here. The Fleet Hurricane for Anomalic has fallen, though.
Yep, so that's 1 Fleet Hurricane down. Sadly, that's 5 other Navy battlecruisers to go for this Template side, as they're losing their first Navy Harbinger, leaving them with just 1 Harbinger and 1 Brutix after this goes down. This Vindicator is sat at 0 speed, just trying to apply damage onto this Fleet Hurricane by Kasich Cook, but even though he's applying a lot of damage, he's not going to be able to kill him fast enough.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think Laserhawks had an amazing setup versus this big Vindy. It's too big and too bulky for this game, I believe, and sadly just isn't going to work out for them. We do see Damasius, his Navy Harbinger, dipping into low armor right now. Cannot get up any decent speed with all those webs applied to him. He is just getting beaten up. The Hyena, again, has just kind of been kept in place where it can't really do anything right now. Laserhawks just really playing so well coordinated.
Templates, although they're behind the 8 ball on this one, they are keeping their composure up. This Hyena is being able to tackle targets enough for the Vindicator to apply its damage right now. And we see a Navy Harbinger just getting absolutely melted right here. It took forever for Laserhawks to kill Damascus Kadesh's Navy Harbinger, and it looks like they're about to lose one in short order here. Still a very big mountain for Templates to climb if they can get this to stabilize for them a little bit more. They're still really far behind, but props to them. They're not just throwing in the towel. They're not giving up. They are forcing Laserhawks to win this entire match out. They won't give them an easy victory.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've seen other games today where there has been 100 zeros, but this is not going to be happening for Templates. Templates will fight to the bitter end. Even if that Brutix is moving at 4 meters a second, it will still shoot with long-range ammo and try and get some hits on. They're at this point trying to kill as many Laserhawk ships as they can and just secure a few more points here. The Brutix from Burt7 here tanking like a boss somehow against all of these opponents. He does fall, unfortunately, though. And now we're down to the Vindicator and the Hyena. Vindicator, once a very formidable foe and one that you would not want to get close to at this point, has essentially been defanged, does not have its fleet to support him, and is going to get slowly chipped away. We do see Andor in the Harbinger just kind of following him, putting some lasers in.
Yeah, they're right next to one another. Crucially, I think Templates really needed a tool to get rid of these armor maintenance bots. The Executor on the Laserhawk side lived for 2 full minutes, enough for Laserhawks to kill 2 Deacons and 2 Blackbirds and a Navy Harbinger, just because of the amount of armor maintenance bots on their Executor and the lack of control on the Template side. This Laserhawk support wing definitely won out. It's hard to see it in the pixels on the screen in front of you, but these Vengeances and this Daredevil really screened a lot of targets and pinned down the primary.
Yeah, and there's the good fights in chat. That is the good game. Laserhawks will be taking the victory. Raise those dongas in chat and we'll hand it back to the studio.
We've got the Kings of Losec with Project Mayhem.
This program is rated MA. It contains adult themes, coarse language, sexual references, and violence.
Can I ask you kind of a weird question?
Do you want to play some spaceships with me? 10 seconds.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm here with Ithaca Hawk as usual, but now Mr. Nash Cadaver joining us. Long time since you've been on, since the very beginning of the weekend. It seems so long ago, even though it was just over 24 hours ago. Yeah, maybe around 30 hours ago. That was a pretty great match, seeing their Laserhawks take out Tempest Cal Sif, who previously had beaten Hydra. So I think people were expecting Tempest to go a lot further in the winners bracket than they did. Perhaps we will have the opportunity for a rematch between Tempest and Hydra in the losers bracket at some point. So I'm not completely sure how the dropping down works, but hopefully it'll come through nicely. Still, moving swiftly on, Ithaka, what were your thoughts about that match?
Well, to be honest, I thought that Tempest perhaps just under-executed their comp. Their Laserhawks doing really well. They managed to sort of basically just not die to that Vindicator. For a while, it was still could have gone either way. That Vindicator was tearing through those battle cruisers, and if once they lost the Deacons, of course, if they could get that Vindicator down before too many battle cruisers dropped off, then that was the win secure. The Hyena there for Tempest, living right to the end. The last ship to die was that Hyena. That was what was allowing that Vindicator to get on top of stuff. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't enough for them. And Laserhawks, by process of elimination, are now better than Hydra.
So we have a new game to play here, How to Fit Your Curse. Coming up on screen now is a curse that was lost in that last match. It was lost by Stilgris. We have the Heavy Newt curse, which is an interesting variant on the curse. You have to, as you can see, put a whole ton of reactor control units when you're stuck in a shield tank. What this does is it means that you do only have one Heavy Newt, but it does have that range or amount or both.
It's ranged.
It's a range bonus. So you get a ranged Heavy Newt. It's like having an 8th or a 7th of an Armageddon on your team, but for many, many fewer points. So you can just volley Newt a cruiser's cap. So maybe you can just get a volley off on the opposing Logi, Lucky Cycle. But generally speaking, personally, I think I prefer armor ones with medium Newts and tracking disruptors, especially in the current meta, or maybe guidance disruptors if you banned out those Navy battle cruisers. What are your thoughts, Ithaka? Heavy Newt curse good in this meta, or not so much?
I believe the Heavy Newt curse is what is referred to generally on the internet as a meme fit. Generally not seen for a couple of reasons that you pointed out. You pretty much have to gimp the fitting very, very much just to get it to even work. Using their 4 reactor control units, 2 rig slots devoted purely to fitting that single Heavy Newt. You do get the range out to something like 75, 82 kilometers, which means you can surprise people by volleying cap from across the field when people thought they were safe from you. But other than that, it's a bold choice, shall we say, bold.
It unfortunately did not play out for them that well, as it did in fact die. Now, Mr. Nashkanavar, back to you, sir. How has the weekend gone? Obviously, last year we did 1 weekend, this year we're doing 2. Given how today's gone, how do you feel about the next weekend, and how has the past 2 days gone for you?
It's actually been really good. I'm really, really impressed and proud of everything that we've achieved. Really proud of the team that we've got here, and everybody's done an amazing job. The desk, yourself, obviously, as a wonderful host. The entire tech team upstairs, the support that we've had from other people, not just on site, but also away. You mentioned before Vitor and Birkov and some of the other guys that have helped make an artwork or made tools for us. It's been a collective effort, I think, and it's last time when we finished the first weekend, I think we were all pretty much dead, and I think we will be dead, but only after a few beers later. So.
Didn't leave my bed on the Monday after. I was just completely ruined.
Yeah.
I was a broken man.
Yeah.
Hopefully this year it'll be a little bit better, as it has been slightly shorter days. Ithaka's taken over some duties from me, so I'll be slightly less ruined tomorrow, though still probably quite destroyed. As it has been the flavour of the weekend, we do have a graph now for the use of Navy battle cruisers coming up on a screen near you. Brutix Navy issue being the most popular thus far, with a picks of looking around 39, maybe 38, winning just over half. Harbinger Navy, about the same ratio of picks, slightly less. Obviously, they often come together, the Brutix Navy and the Harb Navy, possibly meaning why their pairs are so much. Hurricane Fleet issue picked a lot less, but again, a similar ratio of wins to losses. And a great addition, it gives you a little bit more alpha with those artillery cannons, though I think that it certainly, as an autocannon setup, is also a very strong ship in this meta. Also, the Hurricane Fleet issue has the advantage of having 2 utility highs rather than the 1 of the Brutix and the Harb Navy, meaning you can bring 2 links if you divert a rig slot to that Coproc rig. Drake Navy issue, sadly, at the bottom of the tier list here. It's only been brought, by the looks of it, twice maybe at best, not winning any matches. It does not have any utility highs, so it's not really that good for links. And also, it's a Drake Navy issue.
It's a Drake. They're good, man.
Drake's not good anymore.
Nash Cadaver there showing
sorry.
you how much Eve he's played recently. Still, moving on to our next match will be coming up in just over 6 minutes. We have coming up for you the last match of the day. It's gone so by so quickly, but we will be back next weekend. We have No Handlebars Dot going up against Bright Side of Death. So let's have a little look at what comps they brought last time. No Handlebars bought a nice little drone comp. They brought double Eos and Nero Hugin, double Ishtar, double Vexer, Purifier, Punisher, having banned the Basilisk and the Scimitar. And then, let's see, what have we got here? We've got Bright Side of Death, which is not the team we're in fact looking for. Why are we doing that? Okay, No Handlebars I have. Okay, so apparently my stats have gone. Oh no, wait, there we are. Okay, so Bright Side of Death. Sorry about that. A double Brutix Navy issue, double Harb Navy issue, Eagle, Ferox, Kirin, Kitsune. So brings Shield Navy battle cruisers, much less common than their armor counterparts. Ithaca, what do you think of these comps? Obviously, they are not forced to bring them again, but it is what data we have about these teams thus far. What do you think of the comps of the two teams?
I think perhaps we'll see, there's two ways they can go with this. One, they bring basically what they brought before because that's what they're good at. They know they can bring it. And some teams have a smaller roster of comps to bring and they want to just stick with something simple. I know, for example, when myself and Nash did Alliance Tournament 13, it was our first time, we had a grand total of 2 different comps to bring. We brought both.
They were very successful.
And they were very successful. In fact, we actually won that Alliance Tournament. 2-2, I believe. We won 2.
That's not bad for your first time out.
Yeah, and I think I flew a Badger in one of them as well.
You did, yeah.
I did. Extra meme points.
Skill.
Yeah.
Pure skill.
Yeah. That's my thoughts. I've completely forgotten the rest of what I was going to say. So
that's okay. Nash, so obviously you've been running around like a madman this weekend, bringing me cups of tea, which I feel is the most important job.
Anything you need. Anything you
As
want.
I've just been a massive diva ordering everyone around. I want to ask you, you've been watching the matches as you've been running around. Are there any particular moments you like, any teams, any pilots you've picked out that have been your favourites to follow throughout the weekend?
I obviously have some favourites, but I generally stick with the people that I know from previous occasions. I'm a big Tusker fan. Suleiman is an awesome dude. I've met him in real life a couple of times. He's just a solid, really nice guy. And I think he's an incredible captain. I think he's an incredible CEO, and I hope that they are going to smash it again this year. Some other teams as well. Obviously, we've got some other friends flying. Rix Javix is obviously doing a cracking job with his team. And I hope they push it a little bit further again than they did last year. I'm always a big fan of Shadowcatel. I was in Shadowcatel myself for a while, and some really cool dudes that are still there. A couple of the pilots I still remember, but yeah, they seem to have lost their magic a little bit.
So if we look briefly towards next weekend, we have the matches coming up. I'm not sure which, so the matches we will be covering on the first day of next weekend are pretty interesting. So I'll just go through the first half of the first day just to give people a little taste to make sure they tune in. Got Waffles Out of Sight, Goon Swarm Federation versus the Ronin, It Must Be Jelly, Jam Don't Shake versus End of Lifes, Team Skill versus Spectre Fleet Alliance of Sound Mind Thermodynamics, Whole Control Fraternity, We Want Your Risk, Shadow Cartel, Asteria Concord, and Project Mayhem. That's obviously the losers bracket, and then the second half of the day is going to be Samurai Sold Out, Ghost Legion, Bastard Cartel, United Federation of Conifers, PFR, Clown Car, Solar Fleet, Mercenary Coalition, Purple Helmeted Warriors, and then we need the loser of Series 47, Slice, and the loser of Series 48, and then we've got more matches required to fill out the last 2 matches of that day. Massive shout outs, of course, to our sponsors at Chill Blast, giving us a bunch of cool toys to play with during the day to bring the stream to you nice and smooth, and of course to everyone who's been involved in the studio. I'll let Nash list off the names because I will inevitably forget everyone. We also need to shout out our AT viewing party next weekend, so if you fancy watching those matches and the rest of them to come, that's on August 5th and 6th. If you are able to get to Nottingham, England, then you absolutely should. It's a great day, awesome venue. Come hang out with us nerds and watch the Alliance tournament, maybe get a little sneaky tour of the studio if Nash is feeling nice. I'd suggest buying him a beer. That might get you over the edge. And then, of course, EVE London later in the year. That's on the 18th of November. Great meetup, longest running EVE meetup down in London. Used to be the Veto meet before we EVE took it over. Nash, do you want to do any shout outs and a little bit of time we have before we go to the final match of the weekend?
Yeah, you got a couple of minutes to kill, I guess. So a couple of shout outs, I guess, to my partner in crime, Bay RJ, who's stuck upstairs. I'll try to convince him to come on the desk, but he'll be showing his face next week when we're wrapping up properly and closing our section of the Alliance tournament. Jake and Ryan, who are doing the sound and visual tech for us today. They're absolutely awesome dudes, and we're quite pleased to be involved again with the project. Done an awesome job. Really happy to have them again. I guess as I'm the only one that can really do it, a big thank you to yourself as well.
Thank you very much. And before I start blushing, we're going to hand it over to the final match of the day. That is between No Handlebars and Bright Side of Death.
Alright guys, welcome back to Alliance Tournament 15 action. This is day 2, match 48.